A little preparation at the beginning of garden season goes a long way. So today, I will show you step by step garden tasks that I do in late winter to get the garden ready for the year. Important thing to remember is that I do not do all of these tasks in one day. I divide my work over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, and I do the outdoor task when the weather is not crazy cold. Temperatures in 30s and 40s is decent for me, but nothing below that. Usually, my first plants go in the garden during the last week of March, so I prefer to have my garden ready by then. I will remove old plant systems like this okra and chop and drop it. Although I never pull the roots out because roots decompose in soil eventually and add organic matter. My way of cleanup is chop and drop, either on the garden bed or on the garden plats. It acts like mulch. We need to replenish nutrients in the garden to give it a good start for the year. I use my homemade compost mixed with coffee grounds and some sand. Last year, I did a video on how to make your own budget-friendly garden soil and container soil, even if you don't make compost at your home. I will link it in description for you to refer to. I try to cover my raised beds with about an inch of this compost mix. Of course, I never have enough to cover each and every bed, so I use an alternative. I would broadcast organic balanced fertilizers on garden beds which do not get compost mix. I also broadcast high P and K fertilizers under fruit trees in my small but mighty strawberry patch, under all of my perennial flower plants and bulbs. Once you're done with amending soil, it is the perfect time to add the vertical plant support. Of course, you can always set these up later when you are transplanting the vining plants, but if there is any other plant growing nearby, you can accidentally break the plant or disturb the roots. So, doing it early on prevents those accidents. I mulched some berry plants in fall, but there are others that can use good coat of mulch. Mulch helps a lot and it seems to be the most unsung hero of the garden. I need to mulch under the fruit trees and these pear trees need a haircut. This right here is a good example of growing food in a small space. I'm training these trees to be an espalier because this is a narrow space. So pruning in spring helps me shape them up into almost two-dimensional trees. I'm not sure if any of you will be interested in how to espalier a fruit tree video. Let me know in the comments. I will make one if there is enough interest because making these videos is time consuming. Even more so for my gardening channel because I have to patiently wait for my garden to grow, capture all the moments, and then bring it to you. So please show your support by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. Your engagement truly makes a difference. I will prune grapevines as well. A lot of gardeners are confused and scared about pruning grapevines, mostly because there is not much clear instruction out there. I made a video with step-by-step instructions on how to prune grapevine, and other gardeners are finding it useful. I will link it in the description if you need it. If you need to spray any plant for fungal diseases or with neem oil, spring is good time for it. There are many organic fruit tree oil as well that can be used. I personally do not spray my fruit trees every year. I do every other year. I skipped last time, so I will do it this year. Here is some very important information when dealing with any kind of sprays. Cover yourself properly in full sleeves and full jeans and shoes. Wear gloves and check the direction of wind before you begin spraying. You don't want to spray a plant and let the wind bring it back on you. So choose a day when the wind is not strong. And spray the tree in the direction the wind is blowing. That way, you will not be in the path. With so much going on, it is easy to forget to start seeds. Good thing is, this task can be done indoors. I have my grow lights always installed in my garage. I just plug them in spring for the seedlings. So get your grow light setup ready. Gather all the seed growing supplies and keep it ready so that you have it when you need it. I will link in description the one similar to what I use. The biggest one is preparing the seedling potting mix. The ones in stores, I find it too expensive. So I prefer to prepare my own and prepare it in advance. When I start planting seeds, I can just grab however much I need and I don't have to stress about preparing the soil mix every time I start a seed batch. I have a playlist that covers everything about seed starting, when to start seeds, fast seed germination, what supplies you need, how to make your own seed starting mix, etc. I will link it at the end of this video. I have some very large containers, so I need to replenish the nutrients in these as well. I personally prefer to dump the potting mix on a top, then mix in some compost and sand. But sometimes it may not be possible, and these are really huge, so it takes effort. Plus, it is so cold in spring. So I just add organic fertilizer on top and water it. That way, it breaks down eventually and gets some nutrients in the soil. This is a shortcut, but not something I would do every time with a planter. Garden planning is a task where you prepare a plan for where to grow what in your garden. It can be an overwhelming task for many gardeners, so I made an easy 3-step process to simplify it. Here is an honest review of this process that someone posted on my video. Trust me, it gets so much easier with a plan because then you know exactly how many of which type of plants you need, where to put them, and when to put them in. And believe it or not, a good garden plan helps you increase your overall harvest. I harvested many crops all the way into this January. Together, bunnies and squirrels have caused enough damage to my garden and seedlings that I feel it's better to protect the garden than regret it later. The ruler of our yard, the mighty cottontail bunny, chewed the bark away of our most expensive apple fruit tree. Fruit trees and berry bushes are so expensive these days that it is important to protect them. In early spring, when there is nothing much to eat, critters like to munch away tree barks and berry stems. So first things first. In late winter, add a physical barrier around your tree like we made one here from chicken wire. For berry bushes, the bunnies mowed down our blueberry bushes 2 years ago. So now we just keep it roughly wrapped up with the bird netting all year round. This keeps the bunnies away. Believe it or not, squirrels love young seedlings. They have eaten away my corn seedlings, bean seedlings, and even basil. So I put these baskets on top of my seedlings and put either a rock or something heavy enough to hold it in place. Having good soil is key to success in garden, but it should not break your bank, which is why I covered cost-effective ways of repairing your garden in the video linked on the screen. Do check it out next. Thanks for watching.